Hello, welcome to my grade 11 maths review 1. As usual, I like to explain everything from the very beginning. This is your coordinate plane, and this is your x-axis, and this is your y-axis. If you go to the right from the origin along the x-axis, you will see positive numbers, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3 and so on. And you can see that the gaps are always the same, gaps between the units. But if you go to the left from the origin, they are minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 and so on. If you go up along the y-axis, they are positive numbers, plus 1, plus 2, plus 3 and so on. If you go down, minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 and so on. Let's look at a point. Let's look at how to locate a point on this coordinate plane. This point. You have to always go from the origin, but always you have to first go along the x-axis, not the y-axis. So to reach this point, you have to go 3 units to the right. Therefore your x-coordinate is plus 3. And from there you have to go up parallel to the y-axis. Therefore your y-coordinate is 1. So your point is 3, 1. Let's look at some examples on that. So as before, this point is 4, 2. What about this point? To reach this point, you have to start from the origin and go to the right. So your x-coordinate is plus 4, but along parallel to the y-axis, you have to go down. Therefore your y-coordinate is minus 2. This one. To reach this point, you have to go first along the x-axis. To the left, 4 units. So your x-coordinate is minus 4, plus 2. You have to go up. This one, you have to go to the left. So minus 4, down, minus 2. So your coordinates are minus 4, minus 2. Let's talk about the slope now. If you assume that these two are roofs, then this roof has a lower slope than this one. The measure of that slope is rise divided by run. Rise over run. So to talk about the slope, we have run and the rise. If you assume that the rise is 20 and the run is 5, 20 divided by 5 is 4. Whenever you divide a number by another number, you can always make the denominator 1. So it's a measure of the slope because in this case, if you go 1 unit to the right, you are going up by 4 units. So it has a particular slope 4. In a different case, it could be 1 and 6. So that will have a larger slope than this. Let's look at an example. This point has coordinates 1, 2. This one has 4, 5. Y coordinate is 5, that means this height is 5. Y coordinate is 2, therefore this is also 2 because it's a rectangle. Therefore your rise is 5 minus 2. 5 minus 2. Similarly, this is 4, this is 4, this is 1. So your run is 4 minus 1. 4 minus 1. And when you simplify, your slope is going to be 1. In general, how do we show the slope? If the coordinates are x1, y1 and x2, y2, then we know that this height is y2, this height is y1, this is also y1. Therefore, your rise is y2 minus y1. y2 minus y1. And similarly, this length is x2, therefore this is also x2, x1, therefore your run is x2 minus x1. and you can call that slope m. We have to something to remember. Remember the slope formula. Always the y things are on the top, x things are on the bottom. Next part of my introduction is how to find the equation of a straight line with slope m and y-intercept b. When you have a straight line, the place at which it cuts the y-axis is called the y-intercept. In this case, we call it b. And if you call any point on this line xy, this side is going to be y, this side is b, therefore this is also b because it's a rectangle. So your rise is y minus b, run is x. So y minus b or x is our slope m. If I put 1 there, I can cross multiply, and y minus b times 1 equals mx. Take the minus b to the other side of the equal sign, it becomes y equals mx plus b. So that's a general equation for a straight line. Now let's do a small calculation. Find the equation of a line passing through 2 points, 3, 6 and 10, 27. First we find the slope using the formula. Always 27 minus 6 divided by 10 minus 3. You have to go in the same order. That means y2 minus x2 minus. In the bottom you cannot say x1 minus x2. So when you simplify, you can see the slope is 3. Therefore your equation becomes m becomes 3. But we still don't know the b value. But your line is passing through these 2 points. So we can take one of them and substitute for y and x. So y becomes 6, x becomes 3, this becomes 9. When you take the 9 to the other side, it becomes minus 9. 6 minus 9 is minus 3. So we know the b value. Therefore now we know the equation of the straight line. 3x minus b. b is now minus 3. Y is 3x minus 3. Next question is evaluate y when x is 5. So you simply put 5 in place of x. Then it becomes 12. You don't have to do a graph, but in this graph you can check what we did. See that when x is 5, y is 12. You go apply this to the graph and you can see the y value is 12. Another question. Evaluate x when y is 27. So in place of y, we put 27. Take the minus 2 to the other side, become plus 3. And 30 equals 3x. Divide both sides by 3. 3 will cancel out. X becomes 10. Again in this graph, you can see what we did. When y is 27, x is 10. Another basic question. Does the point 9, 4 lie on the line y equals 3x minus 3? How do we figure it out? What we do is we calculate our y value on the line for x equals 9 using this formula. So 3 times 9 minus 3, 24. So if it is on the line, y should be 24. On the line 24. But this point that they asked, 9, 14, therefore is not on the line. So again using this graph you can clarify. Now the last section here is sketching some graphs. Sketch this line by using slope y-intercept method. So we can clearly see that y-intercept is 2. So we already know 1.2. and the slope is also 2. 2 means 2 over 1. 2 divided by 1, remember? That means when you go from this point, when you go to the right 1 unit, you have to go up 2 units to see the next point. So this is your next point. 1, 2. 1, 1, 2. And to find another point, again you have to go 1 to the right, 2 up, 1, 2. So that's another point. Now you can take a rule and draw a nice straight line through that. Last question in this whole introduction is this one. Sketch this graph by using x-intercept, y-intercept method. Again, the y-intercept happens when x value is 0. So make the x equals 0, y is 2. So we already know the y-intercept. What about the x-intercept? X-intercept happens when the y value is 0. At this point, y value, we have some x value, but y value is 0. We are not going up or down at this point. So make the y equals 0 and solve for the x. Take the 2 to the other side, it becomes minus 2. Minus 2 equals 2x. Minus 2 equals 2x. Divide both sides by 2 to get rid of these 2. So x becomes minus 1. So when y is 0, x is minus 1. So that's one of your points. And the y-intercept was 2. So you can take a rule and connect those 2 points. And that's your sketching. That's your sketch of your straight line. Thank you for watching and hope to see you in my Grade D Learn Maths Review 2. Thank you.